Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Navigating Key Features to Advanced Service Delivery with JSM. My name is Ken. I'm the Senior Marketing Director here at Contigix. Next slide. Our presenters today are Fabien, he's our Senior Atlassian Solutions Consultant at Contigix, and Gasper, our ITSM Solution Architect at Atlassian. They will dive into their presentation in just a minute, but just a few housekeeping items. During this presentation, we invite you to ask any questions you may have. We ask that you just please drop them in the Q&A box. We can attempt to answer them along the way, but we do have time allocated at the end to make sure all the questions are answered. Also, this webinar is being recorded, and the full recording will be sent out to everybody that registered. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Gasper to start the presentation.
Thank you very much, Kina. So welcome everybody. For those of you who are not familiar with Atlassian, just one slide to tell you a little bit about the company. So the company was founded in 2002, a little bit more than 20 years ago in Sydney, Australia. We have more than 15 products in the market right now. One of our core products is Jira Service Management, and that's the product we will be discussing today. We have more than 5,000 marketplace apps. So one of the core differentiators of Atlassian is that we have this marketplace where our partners can post their solutions, their apps that can expand the functionality of our solutions, and those apps are available for purchase, or many of them are available for free in our marketplace. So don't forget to take a look at the marketplace. We are serving around 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. We have more than 8,000 employees, more than 700 partners. It's around 800 now, 230,000 customers, and our solutions are virtually used all around the world. Next, please, Fabian. In terms of ITSM and agility, we know that agility is here to stay. Companies want to operate in a more agile way. We want to use collaborative approach to deploy our solutions. We want to use continuous feedback practices to gather what is not going right with our services nowadays. So given that most organizations are already using agility in most of their areas, there's an expectation for other IT areas to use agile practices as well. So what Gartner says is that 80% of IT teams that have not adopted an agile approach will find their ITSM practices ignored, obsolete, and bypassed as a result of more agile way adopted within the organization. So there are many teams within the company that are already using agile ways of working, and they expect the same from IT and ops. Okay, and what is happening is that in many organizations, other operation areas that are not IT are creating their own IT solutions to service their users. And that's creating a lot of complexity within organizations. So what we're trying to do with Jira Service Management is try and solve this problem and provide a solution that any area within the organization can use to track the work, to have a friendly place for their users to submit their requests, to submit their incidents and whatnot. Next slide, please. So Jira Service Management has been a few years in the market already, and it's being used by more than 45,000 users. So yeah, we have a good penetration with our solution in the market. Next slide, please. Our solution is being described as a leader. Oh, that R jumped to the next slide on the right. As a leader by Gartner and Forrester. Okay, we are a leader according to both companies' Magic Quadrant. So and I want to tell you a fun story here. I am a teacher at a university. So besides working with Atlassian, at nights I teach a digital transformation class for MBA students. And I ask my students to present a market research on different digital transformation solutions every week. So a few years ago, I was listening to my students' presentations, and yeah, on one week we talk about project management. I noticed that Atlassian was there. I was not surprised. And on another week, we were talking about um, development, software development, and Atlassian was there, and I wasn't surprised. But I got surprised because back then I used to work for another ITSM company, and I saw Atlassian in the ITSM presentation. I was a bit surprised because I was not aware that Atlassian was doing anything regarding ITSM. So what I want to tell you with this is I found out by my students' presentations that Atlassian is doing something on ITSM because of Gartner's and Forrester's research. So that's what people is looking at in the market, and it's a very good indicator that the platform is solid, robust, and it's being well adopted in the market. But not only we have information from the analysts, but from our customers. So here we have two slides of what our customers are saying about the solution. This customer, it's a huge company worldwide, and they have seen a 70% cost reduction in the first year in ITSM licenses. Okay, so Jira Service Management is a quite affordable solution, and it provides good functionality at a very fair price. Um, and also JSM was in production within weeks. That's something that I want to stress out because I've been in the ITSM markets for 15 plus years, and I've never seen any other solution that can be implemented so fast. Okay, with Jira Service Management, this company has their DevOps and IT in the same platform, which reduces a lot of complexity in their IT landscape. And we have other customers like CBS saying that they have decreased 90% in email requests by implementing Jira Service Management. And they have also increased 30% in their project management capabilities without adding additional staff. So these are very interesting numbers from our customers. Okay. And not only our customers are saving in licenses, so this information comes from a document that you can download from our website. It's called the Total Economic Impact of Jira Service Management, published last year. And we can see that, yes, companies can save money in licenses, but due to our platform being friendly and easy to manage, customers are also saving a lot of money in terms of operation, maintenance, implementation, and using apps from our marketplace, which reduces a lot of development and whatnot. Okay, so there are many benefits on using Jira Service Management financially, and the key area of improvements are the productivity of the service desk itself can get boosted, the improved IT operations and user productivity, and also having all the information available helps engineers to make decisions faster and increase their productivity. So finally, we are trying to help our customers to find what's the best approach to use Jira Service Management. So it can be used, for example, for software development. It can be used for modernizing enterprise IT operations, which is in red in this slide because this is exactly what our partner Contigix is going to talk about, and Fabian will show right now in his demo. It can also be used, as we discussed a few minutes ago, by other areas within the company. This is not an IT platform. This is an enterprise service management platform that can be used by all teams within a company. So we have many customers that are using Jira Service Management to track their marketing requests or their legal requests, their HR requests. So we can use the platform for many other areas. rather than IT only. And yeah, we have a play that we will discuss in another webinar about ITSM transformation and modernization, and we're releasing a new one for external customer support. Okay, so I will let Fabian talk about how to modernize IT operations with Jira Service Management and Ops Genie.
Thank you, Gaspar. So what I'm showing you right now is a coexist play that we use to manage incidents within our organization. So there's three major components when you're managing an incident. The first one is detecting the alerts are coming on from third-party platforms or even emails or even service requests from a portal, and you need to be able to detect them. Then you need to be able to respond efficiently. So in this case, we're going to use Jira Service Management, and there's a lot of functionality that's coming that's new that you may not know. So we got Ops Genie, which is another product from Atlassian that helps you with alerting and getting the right person involved to respond to any incident that is ongoing. And you have the ability to do on-call management. And also you have an incident command center where you can start a bridge, you can start a Slack channel or a MS Teams channel and talk and swarm and investigate what the root cause of this specific incident could be. At some point, you're going to recover the services. You may work with your developers or operations teams where they may have to restart a service or roll back a change. And you also want to be able to create post-incident reviews, which I'm going to show you with Confluence. And then use that information so that the next time a similar incident happens, you know how to react and resolve the incident as fast as possible. So we'll be talking about a few applications. So I mentioned Ops Genie. We'll be talking about chat operations. So we're going to use Slack in this demo, but MS Teams works as well. This ability also to use Status Page, which is a tool used to communicate to external customers. And if they're subscribed to our service, then they will get notified. And then we'll use Confluence to ensure that all the documentation and knowledge articles are available for any agent. So the use case that we'll be resolving today is an integrated incident management use case, where we're going to pretend that a customer is reporting an issue through the portal, and we're going to use the JSM's incident management features to resolve the incident as soon as possible. So we're going to show you a little bit of Jira Service Management, Ops Genie, Status Page, how we can collaborate with Jira software and also create tasks for other engineering or development teams. And then we'll use Confluence to ensure that we can track all that documentation for future use. Here are some screenshots on the on-call feature where you could have a schedule and have different people managing different services. And then here is a screenshot of Status Page where we're telling the subscribers that the billing system is down. Okay, so let me switch back to our demo. So I'm going to get out of here. So what I'm showing you right now, this is our portal, and I'm using a specific third-party plugin that helps you customize the look and feel and have different tiles to create an incident. So we're going to go to the IT service desk, and then we'll look for an incident report. And here I'm going to enter some information about the incident. So let's call it demo incident 919. Okay, the demo service is down. And here you can select the services that are affected. So I'm just going to select demo service. I'm going to select the urgency, select as critical because it's a major incident. And also I'm going to say that it's extensive. Okay. Now, before I create this ticket, one of the functionalities that we had was the on-call feature. So let me go back to our agent queue where all the incidents are coming. And there's a section called on-call. So this is our on-call schedule, and we have several services. So the first service here, or team, this is the HD incident support team, and this is a team that is managing the demo service functionality. So as you can see, there's different people on a daily basis, but today I am the on-call person. So what's going to happen is through Opsgenie, we're going to create a ticket. And since I'm the on-call person, I will be notified right away through SMS, voice, or email, depending on your preferences. And then I can attend to that specific issue right away. If you had other services tagged on the teams, on the tickets, then different people will be notified accordingly. Now, one of the things I want to highlight is if we go now to Opsgenie, and this is the Opsgenie Teams configuration, you can see that there's an escalation policy. So at the beginning, at 0 minutes, the on-call users in the AC incident support team schedule will be notified. And I need to acknowledge that. And if I don't acknowledge, then the next person in the incident support team will be pinged. And you can configure this accordingly, where at some point, 20 minutes after, our VP will be notified and someone needs to action it, right? So that's how we are using JSM with Opsgenie as an alert management system. So let's go ahead and finish that ticket. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a ticket. Okay, so the ticket is created. And as an end user, I can go here and see that the status is waiting for support. And I have all the details that I have entered. Now, I'm going to show you a sample email that I just created recently. So this is the email that you'll be getting as an agent. So I'm the on-call person. So it tells you that the responder is a DevOps team. This is my email. And then you can go and open up the alert. So let's pretend I open that alert. And I'm going back to Opsgenie. So now in Opsgenie, I could see that there's a new ticket, demo incident 919, which is the summary or summary title of the ticket that we just created. So I'm going to open that up. I could see some information there. And I could see the link ticket that was created. But the first thing I'm going to do here is make sure that no one else gets pinged. So I'm going to acknowledge the alert. And there's also an application on iOS and Android where you could use this functionality as well. And then I'm going to put a note that I got it. Okay. So now that the alerts are stopping, I will open up the ticket here. And this will open the same ticket that we just created a few minutes ago. Okay, so one of the things you'll notice here is that it's waiting for support, the status, and it's not assigned. So the first thing I will do is I'm going to start triaging the ticket and then assign it to myself. And as you know, you could have the workflow set up to whatever process you have in place. So let me show you what that workflow looks like today in our demo. So here the ticket is waiting for support. We just push it to triage. And you can ask for more information to the customer, or you can push it to awaiting implementation, where the development team may be doing something and you have to wait for them to complete. Then they may do some work to fix the issue, or you can fix it yourself. And then if it can be resolved, you resolve the ticket. And then after that, you can close it. All right, so now we are in triage. We have most of the information here, but I want you to take a look at the demo service here. So we are using the asset management capabilities of Jira Service Management, which is available in the premium tier of your licensing, where now I can open up and see the relationships of what this service is connected to. Okay, so now I have the demo service, and I can see that there's a couple of Jira servers running, and they're connected to another Jira cluster and is connected to this test application. So essentially, you can, through the visualization of the relationships, you can see what other components may be affected or are affecting our service. So I could click here, and then I could get more information about that specific device or network infrastructure item that's been affected, right? So that helps you analyze a little bit. So here in the comments, I'm going to say something like, as an internal note, looks like the Jira servers may be down. Okay. So that you can put that as a note internally. You could also look at this new relationships where you can view other incidents. So here you can see that there are other 11 open incidents regarding the demo service. So as an agent, you may figure out that this is a major incident. Okay, so you want to say that 11 tickets are affected. And we are starting a channel to start. Okay, you can do that. And one of the things I'll do here, there is a tag button here where you can just say mark it as an incident, major incident. So in that case, the ticket is tagged as major incident, and there's a different queue that you could use for major incidents. And in some cases, when a major incident happens, you can notify other teams or responder teams to be aware of the issue. Okay, another new feature that's available is that the relationship between incidents and changes. So here we selected demo service, and you want to take a look at what are the changes that were released recently. And it will look into previous changes. So last week we had a change request, and I can open up ITSM BP 805 to get more information. So all this stuff is helping you assess what the issue could be. Okay. So this is a change, and this was resolved. Okay. And now that we have a good idea, let's pretend this change could have affected this issue. Now we want to start a swarming exercise. We want to get other team members to help each other identify what the root cause could be. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a channel. And this supports Zoom, supports MS Teams. In this case, we're using Slack. So I could select our channel, and we will begin our conversations. Okay, so now I opened up a new channel conversation specifically for the ticket we just created, 813. I'm going to join it. And now I could do a couple of things. I could inform our stakeholders. If a service has stakeholders on their object attribute, then you can say there's a major incident. And then you could say things like, we're investigating. Okay, so that the stakeholders know that there's an issue. And then you can add responder as well. So we're going to add the platform team to join the call. And of course, you can start a video conversation as well, or a call as well, but we're not going to go there. Okay, so now let's pretend we're talking. You will also see in Opsgenie some additional alerts. So when I go here, you should see that the platform team has also been pinged to join the call or be aware of the incidents that are happening. So here, someone from the platform team will need to acknowledge to ensure that they know that something is happening. Okay. Now that we identified that this is a major incident, we talked to our stakeholders. We also want to communicate to our external customers what is happening. So this is where status page comes in. And what status page is it could be an internal or external page where you list all the services that are available. So here we can see the billing system is operational. And this is a service that we're talking about today. So you can see that there were some outages that lasted a few days. It looks like there's an outage earlier this morning that lasted for 14 minutes. Okay, so this gives you information about the services, and also you could have information about past incidents or maintenance schedule items that are coming up. This is great for external customers, and when you have a lot of services and you want them to know what is happening right away. So when an incident happens and you want to communicate, then whoever is subscribed to that service, they will be notified. And that's what we're going to mimic right now. So I'm going to go back to my ticket. And we're using Jira Automation to do this. So we're doing an API call where right away we are going to create a status page incident. Okay, and then I'm going to go to our chat and say that we have contacted our customers. Okay, so now if all the automations work properly, let me refresh this page. Okay, so right away, without even configuring anything in our status page platform, we are currently investigating this issue, right? And you can see now that's the major outage right now. So customers know right away. And what happens is you will get some sort of email, something like this, where it says that the demo service is having an incident, okay? From status page. So let me go back to our ticket. So here we are still talking to our members, and we're gonna pretend now that we need to roll back the code, okay? And involve the development team. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go back to our ticket. We're gonna start ready for implementation. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an action here to create a link ticket, which is gonna live in a Jira Software project. So I'm gonna click that automation. So the automation is creating a new ticket for our development team and also linking it so that it's being tracked accordingly. So let me refresh that. And as you can see, there's a new ticket created. So DT123, bug raised from incident ITSM-BP A13, which is a ticket we just created. And I could open up that specific ticket here, but I already have the Kanban board open for our development team. So the product owner, Scrum Master, or development lead will have their own Kanban board, and then they will notice that they get a new ticket on their queue, right? So this is the ticket that we just created. So they're going to open that up to look at the details. So they know that it's coming from this ticket, right? And one of the things I want to highlight as well is that we're using a third-party plugin to capture also the SLA for the development team. So in this case, the SLA for the development team is 30 minutes to figure out what the issue is, or they will get in trouble by the executives. And we also have the linked ticket, which is our major incident ticket, which is an SLA for 1 hour, right? So this is a AppFire application that we're using to track SLAs, and it's really helpful if you're doing some reporting. Now, let's say I'm going to start the work. First, of course, I got to assign it to someone. So I'm going to assign it to me. Start in progress. And at some point, you want to notify your major incident manager that that they're working on it, and they could update the notes, or automation could have been used as well. And let's see where the other ticket is. There. And what I will do as a developer, I will work on the issue, I'll push it to the different statuses that are required. And at some point, we're going to say that we roll back the code. Okay. Code. And then I'm going to refresh that. Okay, so now the SLA panel is showing me that the development team meet their criteria. So they close their issue, which is great. So now the agents on the major incident will have that here. So let's say they refresh. And now it's time to validate with some customers or internally, so they could start validating. Okay, so I will go back to our chat. Okay, looks like the dev team roll back, and we are validating. Okay, so I do that, and then at some point here, I also want to notify customers. So maybe say that we have identified the fix. Right. So when I save this comment, this will also write to Opsgenie, sorry, to status page, which I'll show you later what that looks like. And now let's pretend everything went well. We were able to resolve the incident. So the next thing we want to do is, of course, close the ticket. And I could do this manually if I wanted to, like change the status to done. But I'm going to show you another plugin that we use a lot for ITSM, which is a CAN response. So here I select a template, which in this case is major incident resolved, which types all the information there, and then I'll just save the comment. Okay. So when I save the comment, it will, of course, write the comment, and also you're going to see shortly that the ticket is resolved automatically through an automation. Okay, so now this is great. Everything has been resolved. We may want to notify our stakeholders if we want to. So let's go back to our Slack. Okay, so now the stakeholders are happy. Hopefully the customers are happy because we're going to refresh this page. And now all systems are operational, which is great. And this will tell you that we're down for 20 minutes since the incident was created. Okay. Now, the next thing that will help your operations is now creating some sort of article. And this is, sorry, let me go back to our original ticket. Okay, so this is the ticket that the reporter created. And as you can see, all the information is available there. The comments that were internal were only internal, so they don't see that. They will only see the things that went to the customer directly. All right, so a few things you could do here. You can have automations. You can create automations for creating a problem ticket or a change request, right? So in this case, you resolve the incident, which is the main purpose of the incident management team, and you restore the service. But at some point, you want to know the root cause. So if that's the case, then you can create a problem record, right? Where it will follow its own workflow. And someone needs to go through different steps to figure out what the root cause was. So in this case, you can see here now that I have a new problem ticket linked with a new status waiting for assessment. And you can assign this to someone. See if I can use Josh. No, I'm just going to use myself. Okay. So I'll send the ticket to myself, and it will have its own workflow where you go through an assessment, you do an investigation, and then you figure out what the root cause analysis is. Okay. You could have specific fields for your problem ticket, and then your root cause, and a workaround, right? So you pick the ticket to whatever it is, and then you can close it. Okay. Now you can also create change requests from within here. So I could have used, instead of creating a development ticket to work on it right away, I could create a change request that would also be linked, and then you will follow the appropriate change management process. Okay, so now you can see that a change request is created. And then some of the information is copied, so you don't have to populate everything. Okay, I'm not going to go in details on the change, but maybe we could have another webinar that goes in details on how you can approve, reject changes, and also implement them. Okay, so now we got the problem record, we got the change ticket for future, if you wanted to use that. Now we want to document what has happened so that it could be reused for future incidents. So let me go back to our main incident, which is ITS MVP A13. And we're going to create a PIR, or also known as post-incident review. So I'm going to create a link, a post-incident review. So we're going to call it post-incident review for 919 demo service. I'm gonna tag this as a demo service, and then there's some pre-filled information that you could put. So here you can put some lead up and complete any other detail that you want to add. So now we're gonna create a post-incident review ticket. I'm gonna refresh that. So now you have a new ticket, which needs to be reviewed. So on our post-incident review issue type or ticket, you can see information that came from our incident. So when was the ticket created? When did it end? Time to resolution was 14 minutes, which is great. That was fast. Who the assignee was, who the other responders were, the affected service. So a lot of information gets copied over, right? So that we can create and use a very detailed report on what has happened. Okay. Now I'm going to push it to draft, and you could have other people approving the information. But before I do that, I'm going to set it for approval, and then at some point, okay, I could publish it. But before I do that, I forgot to do this. So at some point, you want to put this in Confluence. So you can click on our 3 dots here for the actions, and then export to Confluence. And we're going to put a specific title, and then we're putting in a specific page called incident management space, and a specific page called post-incident reviews. So now what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to document all this information and have this recorded for future use. So it's created. I'm going to go back to Confluence now. So as you can see, we got the title. We have some of the information that was available on the post-incident review ticket, right? Creation, when it ended, the time to resolution, who the assignee was, and then the different teams. Okay. Now, I like this feature. This is a timeline. So any change that you made to your ticket, any responders you added, or any assignees or stakeholders, everything that you've done is recorded here. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. But hopefully it provides you the best information so that you can resolve issues in the future much faster. And of course, here you have the summary of the ticket itself. Okay. And I think, yeah, that's how you will resolve a major incident from the beginning till the end. And we're using different tools such as Opsgenie, Statuspage, some Jira automation, some Jira software, and putting it all together so that you can work and collaborate with your team members, engineers, or stakeholders, and resolve the issues as fast as possible. Okay, so that concludes some of the demo. We have a few more things to show you. So let me open up my presentation again. Okay. Gaspar, you want to give a little bit of information here, or should I just play it?
Let's just play it.
Okay. All right. So now we are going to take some questions from the audience and see if there's anything.
we have at least two questions here. That I saw one that if we are going to share the information or the slides of the presentation. So what we're going to do is we're going to share the recording link. Am I right?
That's correct. Yep.
And the other one, what products do you see just service management replacing / displacing most often? If you can please share the top 2 or 3. The products we have seen more displacing are for sure ServiceNow, BMC, Helix, and Remedy, and also Cherwell Ivanti that now are the same company. I would say those are the top 3 that we've seen the most displacing.
Okay, let's see. There's more questions. Gaspar, there's one question here. When will Atlassian AI be available and what will it cost?
So the idea right now is to have it ready. Right now, it's on a closed beta stage, which means we internally already have it available. And I have to tell you, I use it pretty frequently. Not every day, but I use it a lot. Okay, so it's already working in our internal Atlassian instances. There is an early registration program, so customers and partners can subscribe to the early registration program. It's not available for them yet, but it will be soon. And the idea is to have it available like for end customers by the end of the year. Regarding the cost, the plan is to add it with no additional cost to our cloud customers. That's the plan right now.
Okay. And would it be available both in cloud and data center?
Right now, the plan is only to have it available in the cloud. So data center it's a different conversation. It's not really, it's not in the pipeline yet. So right now it will be in the cloud for sure. We are still discussing internally what to do with data center.
Okay. There's another question here. Are there any major complications when it comes to integrating JSM with other IT tools and systems? It's a great question. Yeah.
Yeah, do you
Want
want
to
to
take that one? Oh, okay,
No,
I'll take it.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I can give some examples. Yeah, so I think one of the complications when you connect it to third-party platforms, I don't know, some such as like the Datadog, Splunk, or Salesforce is getting those API calls configured properly. So once you get those connectors, sometimes you can use some third-party plugins or out-of-the-box functionality to connect to those platforms. And once you do that, it's easy. But I think the hardest part is what the process will be, because you can have two systems talking to each other, but now you have to figure out what fields are you mapping, what information are you sending back and forth, and what is the process, right? So a ticket gets created from Salesforce to Jira, and you start working on the Jira ticket, and then you have to send it back, and who needs to be contacted to close the ticket. So things like that, I think major item to focus is on the process itself. The actual configuration and development may be easy, right? With all the Atlassian products. Okay, I got a few more questions here. Or Gaspar, you want to add anything there?
Oh, all good.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, so what are the benefits of using Jira Service Management compared to other products in the market? Okay, Gaspar, you want to take that one, or go ahead.
Yeah, sure. We have already talked a bit about the affordability. So the Jira Service Management compared to other solutions that have similar capabilities is quite more affordable, and it's easier to implement. Again, I've been in the ITSM market for quite a while, and I've worked with many other competitors. And yeah, I can tell you that the implementation time for Jira Service Management is pretty is shorter compared to other tools. And also the resources that we provide for our customers and partners to implement it, like the templates that are available out of the box So once you create your instance, you can pre-populate it with a lot of useful information rather than starting from scratch. That's pretty useful. The marketplace is a good differentiator as well. We try and gather all the reusable pieces of code that our partners worldwide develop, and it's an incentive for them to share that effort with other customers and partners around the world, because yeah, they can sell it, or they can market themselves as experts in our tools by adding their solutions there. So that helps a lot to reuse knowledge and uh, avoid, starting from scratch an integration or a functionality that most likely somebody else in the world has already uh, thought about or has already implemented, and it's already available. So I would say the marketplace is a good differentiator. It's a good way of doing like open innovation and collaboration worldwide.
Right. Okay, and
And,
I have one other last question here. What kind of training or support options are available for teams looking to adopt Jira Service Management? So I could take this one.
Mhm.
So online, Atlassian provides a lot of documentation on their support sites, and also there's some videos available publicly. So make sure you check those out. There's also a university, and I've taken one of the courses where it talks about Jira Service Management and explains how to create a service desk, how to set up your CMDB, the assets management capabilities that I was showing you earlier. But however, if you don't have all that time to learn on your own, and you need an expert to help you build your Jira Service Desk, at Contigix, we do provide professional services where we have a starter package that could be between 2 to 3 weeks, where we'll train you with all the new modules and new features coming out of the JSM functionality, and then configure some of the basic issue types or service requests that you have in place. And then you could be going in production within, like we said, within weeks. So depending on your complexity, you could be out in 3 to 4 weeks, right? And if you're doing a specific simple service desk module. So yeah, so feel free to contact us if you have any questions regarding that, or whether you would like to work with us to learn more about Jira Service Management. Okay, I think there's one more question. Let me see. So this one's maybe for you, Gaspar, but let me read it. How is Atlassian position compared to BMC Remedy versus ServiceNow, and what's the future roadmap? Great question.
Yes. Right now, at least in Gartner and Forrester's analysis, we are positioned as leaders, very close. I think that those three companies are leading the ITSM market. And in terms of capabilities, I would say we're pretty similar. If anything, we're still working on improving our discovery capabilities, but we have partners in our marketplace that can do that. Other than that, we have like pretty much the same capabilities in the market than Remedy and ServiceNow, with the benefit that administering the platform is less costly and complex.
Yeah, and then I noticed that a lot of our clients that are coming to us, they also want to get away from ServiceNow and BMC Remedy. A lot to do with the cost, which you mentioned regarding the implementations, how fast it is to go in Jira compared to those two, and also the flexibility. I don't know if you are people who use ServiceNow for 4 or 5 years. Trying to build something new, you got to stay with whatever they have built. And if you want to change something, it could take weeks or months just to make a simple code change, which is frustrating when you want to improve your services very quickly. Yeah. All right. I don't see any other questions. So let's see if there's anything else. Okay, it looks like
No
we're
more
good.
questions.
Yeah, thank you, Gaspar, for your time. Thank you, Kenna, for organizing this one. And I want to thank everyone who joined this webinar. Feel free to ask questions at Contigix or even Atlassian. And have a good day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.